Hello and welcome to this video on axes of movement for GCSE PE. I've also done one on planes of movement. If you've not seen that, I suggest you watch that one first because this one progresses on from that. So let's look at the three types of axes that we have. The first one we'll look at is our frontal axis. Now this one goes through our hips horizontally, allowing us to rotate forward through the sagittal plane to create forward and backwards movement and rotation. So it allows us to twist forwards and to twist backwards. And really good examples are somersaults, both forwards and backwards in trampolining or gymnastics. Coming up from a sprint start, so when you start down in your sprint start, as you come up into your full running position, you're going backwards using your frontal axis. And also when you do the first part of a tumble turn where you flip over.
I'm going to use jelly babies for this demonstration. You may have done this in class with your teacher, and if you want to see that whole video where you do all the jelly baby work of cutting them and their planes and axes, I've got another video of that as well. So for this one, this is the jelly baby with its frontal axis, so it's going through its hips side to side, and this can create forward rotation and backwards rotation. You can do full rotation both forwards and backwards.
Okay, the next axis is our vertical axis, and that one goes vertically through the long part of our body, from our head to our feet. And this one works in the horizontal plane, so it turns the body in the horizontal plane. That one I talked about, imagine you're being in a tube and you're going to be able to twist around in that tube but do nothing else. It creates rotation lengthways, so for things like twisting, turning. In dance you could use it to do a pirouette. At the end of your cricket bowling action, you're going to use it as you finish your delivery to twist and bring your body through.
Now my red jelly baby, this one has a vertical axis, and the vertical axis allows twisting because the axis goes between his head and his feet, and it allows twisting both ways, and it can allow full rotation as well, both directions.
So the final one is your sagittal axis. Now this goes through your belly button, front to back in your body. Imagine it going through your belly button and out the back. This allows for sideways movement in the frontal plane. So you can do abduction, adduction and rotation on that sagittal axis side to side. Sporting examples are a cartwheel, straddle jump, splits. In the last video we talked about the goalkeeper diving sideways. They all use the sagittal axis.
Now our last jelly baby has a sagittal axis going through its belly button, and this allows sideways movement either side or rotation around that centre point, such as a cartwheel.
Now it is possible to use more than one axis, and a lot of sports like gymnastics, high diving will do this to create complicated movements. Now often they'll use two axes to create a twisting and a turning movement. Now Barani in trampolining, which is a full somersault and a half twist, is one of those. Now they're not completed separately, they're completed at the same time. Now in this video you're going to see someone do a Barani, which is a full somersault and a half twist. So you can see the two axes in motion, okay? So she goes forward first, then adds a half twist in, but she's still rotating forwards. Okay, so she starts by using her frontal axis to create a forward somersault. and towards the end of that forward somersault, she's still rotating on the frontal axis. She includes her vertical axis to complete a half twist. Now in this clip, you're going to see the diver use both his frontal axis and his vertical axis. Now the first part of his dive, he almost immediately uses both. He starts by going backwards into a backward somersault using his frontal axis, and then he starts using his vertical axis to create twists. As he's falling, he is somersaulting and he is twisting, and then towards the end he just changes and uses his frontal axis to finish with somersaults. So he goes backwards using his frontal axis to do a backward somersault, then he starts doing a full twists, and he's still rotating both directions vertically and horizontally, and then he just goes into frontal axis to create somersaults to finish his dive. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. No jelly babies were hurt in the film in this video. By all means, get some jelly babies and some cocktail sticks and have a go at those movements yourself. Check out my other video where I'll show you how to do the planes and the axes of the jelly baby too.